A lot of people start out metalworking and blacksmithing using a railroad rail for an anvil. I was real fortunate. I inherited some nice blacksmith's tools from my grandfather. So when I started this bench anvil project, I wanted to build something that was very adaptable. Of course, I wanted it to be unique, but I wanted to be able to adapt different bending fixtures, mandrels, and horns on the same bench anvil for different purposes. It wasn't intended for heavy forging, and I'll leave that to my other anvils. So to start out with, I took 2 pieces of railroad rail and I milled them to the center web. Each one I milled to the center web, and then I added a piece of 2.5-inch plate in between the 2 milled rails. I put a hole in the end of the 2.5-inch plate, and that enables me to have various different horns and attachments to fit in the anvil. The Hardy locks the horns in place. Each of the horns has a milled groove in it, and so when you slide that into the hole, then the Hardy locks it in place. In addition, there's a hole on the side there that bolts the Hardy tight against the anvil horn. This is just another version of a horn made for a different purpose, and it works the same way. It's locked in place by the Hardy. On the other end of the anvil, I've got a couple holes that enable me to put in different bending fixtures. Just set them in place, and then on the bottom there's a provision here where you can put a nut on there and tighten it up, hold it in place. This hole is also very useful for different mandrels. I've got different size mandrels that fit in there for different types of work. The second half of this video will be shots from the shop. Just a sample of what goes into the making of a rail anvil. Well, I'm on my second cut here now. Make this fracture, this groove to make the fracture. this rail set up to mill a groove on the bottom side. This is to facilitate the fracture. After I make this second cut now, I'll have a 1/4 inch groove, and then I also have a groove on the back side. And I'll be able to break those pieces off with a hammer. Well, I'm finished milling the stress line groove along the bottom flange of this rail, and now it's time to break it off. So previously, I took the rail and I put it in the milling machine and I milled off half of it. So now I have like a half a rail, or at least down to the web. And then I took this milled piece, this half rail, and put it up in my pattern torch. Used that for a pattern. And then I cut around that to make the center, the 2.5 inch thick center section. I did add on a 3/8 bar. I wanted to make that piece a little bit wider and a little bit deeper where the horn fits in. So I just bent a 1/2 inch square and tacked it on there. And that'll be removed for the final piece. The 1/4 inch knurled wheel is magnetic and will follow any ferrous metal pattern. The 2.5-inch center section is being cut from a repurposed press brake dial. Thanks for watching my video. Share it with your friends.